Hello students, so today we are going to learn our next section of our code block, that is events. Okay, we have learned motion, look, sound. Now we are going to learn about events. So what is the events code block? Whenever you are creating some project, there happens something happens, like you can say when green flag clicked, there is a green flag, right? This is a green flag. If you click it, maybe when the cat jumps, maybe the when cat is at some position, there are lots of situation which happens in the project. So that time, if we want our project to do some task, we use these events block. Okay, so let me take one event block, that is when green flag clicked. So whenever the green flag clicked, you can write what all actions this project has to take. Those code blocks you can put here, like if I go to motion, move 10 steps, that we did earlier also. So whenever the green flag will click, the cat will do move 10 steps. Now you can see this is a move 10 steps block which has an adding section here and at the bottom, so you can add something at its bottom also and at its top also. But when we talk about these events block, you can see these events block, they cannot be added at the top. There is only something can be added at the bottom. What it means, it means these blocks are the most of the time are the starting block of any code. Okay, so whatever code you are going to write, this event block will always be the starting block. There could not be any block above this code block. Okay, so now I have said when the green flag clicked, move 10 steps. Now I'll take another code block, that is when space key pressed. So if you are pressing any key, there are many options are there for the all of the keys are there. So you can select any key option, right arrow, left arrow, any key, and then you can say when right arrow key pressed, like if I say move 10 steps, again I will take this event code block when, and I will say take when left arrow key press, again I'll say move 10 steps, but in left arrow key what I'll do, I'll make it move minus 10 steps. So now can you see all of these code blocks are the starting blocks. They cannot be added below any other code block. They will have a separate list of code blocks below this code block, and these are called hat blocks. Okay, so now what I have written, according to that, what will happen, if I press right arrow key, the cat will move right. If I press left arrow key, the cat will move left. Okay, so this way you can use when any key pressed code block. Okay, so now you understood. Now another code block, hat code block of event is when the sprite click. So I told you earlier also, whatever characters are there on the stage are called sprite in Scratch. So this is a when sprite clicked. So what will happen, let's take an example, turn 15 degree, let's say an example. So whenever you are going to click the sprite, it will turn 15 degree. Okay, so this is a use of when sprite clicked. Now let's take another code block, that is okay, so when backdrop switches to, okay, right now we have one backdrop, let's take one more backdrop. I have already told you how you can add backdrop. Go to the stage section and take any backdrop. So now you have 2 or 3 backdrops, right? Backdrop 1, backdrop 2, or Arctic. So it says when its backdrop switches to, let's say, blue sky. If the backdrop switches to, let me make the direction of the cat to 90. Okay. So now what happens, whenever the backdrop, which is Arctic right now, will change to blue sky too, then let's say what happens. So it will let's say it turns at 15 degree. Okay, so now what I can do, how can I change its backdrop? I can take this switch backdrop to this switch backdrop to backdrop 1 or any other backdrop, and I'll take when green flag clicked. So what will happen, whenever I'll click the green flag, the backdrop will change. Let's say I said whenever I click green flag, switch backdrop to blue sky 2. Okay, or I can say switch backdrop to next backdrop. And what I have written here, whenever the backdrop is blue sky, then it will turn 15 degrees. So let's do it. So understand, whenever the backdrop will switches to blue sky to backdrop. See, if I go to the costume, okay, I'll select the stage and then I'll go to the costume. This is the Arctic backdrop. If I go to, this is the blue sky 2 backdrop, and this is an empty backdrop. Now if I come to the code and select cat, so for cat we have written whenever we'll switch the backdrop to blue sky 2, our cat will turn 15 degree. Now I have what I have written here, whenever I'll click green flag, the backdrop will keep on changing. First backdrop will be changed to blue sky 2, then Arctic, then no black backdrop, then again blue sky 2, then Arctic. So this way it will keep on rotating. So let's see what happens. So backdrop changed to blue and the cat moved 15 degree. Now backdrop changed to Arctic, the cat has not moved. Again the backdrop has changed to none, the cat has not moved. Now when again the backdrop changed to blue, the cat has moved. So whenever the backdrop is changing to blue, the cat is moving. Okay, so you understood the use of when backdrop switches to. Okay, very good, fine. Let's, okay. So the next code block is when loudness greater than. So what this code blocks do, see you will learn later that in sensing there is a variable called loudness. So what this loudness is doing, this is measuring the loudness outside the surroundings, like how much voice is there outside the surrounding, that you can measure with the help of this loudness variable. So if loudness is greater than 10, with this help of this event block code, you can tell if loudness increases to some extent. Like if I say if loudness is greater than, let's say 50, then if I say say hello for 2 seconds, then the cat will say hello for 2 seconds if this loudness value will increase by 50. Okay, at that time. So this way you can use this loudness, same as the timer. So if you will use the timer, you can have a timer block also which you can use, and again if timer increases the time, then again you can say hello for 2 seconds, or you can change any value like this. Okay, so this way you can use timer and the loudness from the event code blocks to set any event. Next is when I receive a message. So what happens, many times it happens that, or it will happen when you start creating your projects, you are creating multiple sprites, right? And you want to move those sprites or do something in one sprite which can reflect effect on other sprite. In that case, you can communicate between each other sprite with the help of messages. Or you can tell something to all the sprites, broadcast any message, or whatever message is there in this in your all sprite communication in the complete project, that you can use. So say if you create a new message, game over, then what you can do, this is a message which you have created. Now what this head block will do, when you receive the game over, what you can say, you can like later on you will learn, you can say stop also. Whatever you are doing here in this below this code block, that will get stopped. Or there are many uses of this code block. So whenever you will receive any message, that time you can perform a particular action with the help of this when I receive code block. Okay, so and once give me 1 second. Okay, so this was the when I receive. So if you are receiving a message, that means you are broadcasting this message. This you can do with the help of this broadcast message code block. What it can do with the help of this message, like you are broadcasting game over. So you have, if you have 3-4 sprites, in one of the sprite you can broadcast a message game over, and in another sprite you can write when I receive this message, do this task. So you can tell tasks to other sprites that game over is been broadcast xyz sprite, and then we have to do this task. With the coming videos or with coming tutorials, you will understand it better. Same way, one more code block is there. What it do? It broadcast message 1. It will broadcast the message and it will wait. So here it will broadcast the message and go to the next code block. In this case, it will broadcast a message and wait. It will not go to the next code block. So this is a difference between broadcast wait and the broadcast message. So today we have completed all the event code blocks. If you have any doubt in any of the code block, you can definitely ask in the comment section, and with the help of all these code block, you can create a project. You may try to create a project with the help of all the code blocks which you have learned earlier. And in the next class, we are going to learn about the next code block, that is control. Okay, so take care till then. Bye bye.